Hello, everyone. I'm Jacqueline Coley, and I would like to welcome you to the Global Press Conference for Warner Brothers' King Richard. And I'm joined today by our illustrious panel, so allow me to go ahead and introduce all of them. First, we have Zach Baylin, then Tim White, Trevor White, Isha Price, Tony Goldwyn, Demi Singleton, Saniyya Sidney, Aunjanue Ellis, Venus Williams, Serena Williams, Will Smith, and joining us virtually, we have Reinaldo Marcus Green and John Bernthal.
Yeah!
We are going to be having a mix of questions that you all have submitted, and I'm going to go ahead and start this with the two ladies that really start this movie. Venus and Serena, I just have to ask you, what emotions are you feeling seeing your family's journey being told in a motion picture with your father being played by none other than Will Smith? And Venus, I'll start with you.
Oh, okay. I was looking at Serena. How do you feel? But I think it's super emotional. And I've seen the trailer, I've read the script, and every time I watch it, my eyes are just watering. I think it was amazing to see the family atmosphere on the set and how much Demi and Saniyya like really acted like Serena and I, even when the cameras weren't rolling, like holding hands, and it was so sweet. And I'm just really proud of what everyone has accomplished, and it's pretty surreal, to be honest. And they really understood our family and portrayed us in a way that was really us, and I'm very proud of that.
Yeah. Serena, what about you?
Yeah, it's honestly, no word describes it better than just surreal, just to see these incredible actresses and everyone behind it, just putting this all together, and about our dad's journey, but because of myself and my sister, it really is like, wow, really? Okay, is this like, are we really something, kind of thing? So it really is super surreal for me, and then to have Will play this role as my father, and the way he just embodied Richard Williams, it just took the whole film to a whole new level. It's so emotional, it's well done, and it's a brilliant piece of work.
Yeah, I think just to add on that, every single person sitting here and on TV that worked so hard to make this a reality, and they really cared about telling a story that was authentic and not just one that was like scripted or could be a formula for whatever. So just thank you, everyone. Love you.
Yeah, that's incredible. I will say audience haven't gotten a chance to see it, but the critics are already raving about everything that you guys just said. And Will, I just have to ask you, what was it about playing, Richard Williams that really appealed to you? Because you fought a long road to bring this to folks.
Yeah. It's really, we were talking earlier, and there was an interview that Venus was doing. How old were you in that interview?
Like 13
or 14. Yeah. And it's a famous interview where Richard Williams snaps on the reporter and says, now she done said what she done said with a whole lot of confidence, And I saw that, in real time. And the look on Venus's face burned, that image burned in my heart, because that's how I wanted my daughter to look when I showed up. And that interview had really changed my parenting at that time. It was like the look on Venus's face, we just watched it, and it was like she had a lion. And she was so confident and so comfortable that her lion wasn't gonna let anything happen to her, And I fell in love with Richard Williams, that was 20-something years ago.
Wow.
And when the opportunity to be a part of this came up, that was the first thing that I remembered. I knew I wanted to show a father protecting a daughter like that to the world.
Wow, that scene is beautifully fictionalized and redone in the movie, and it is a moment that, always brings audiences to clap. I've seen it twice now, and everyone claps in that moment. But Tim and Trevor, I have to start with you. To get folks to see that moment on screen, it was not a short road. Talk about the journey to finally bring this story to the audience, and the difference in this script, the choice to focus on Richard when you have literally two of the greatest sports athletes to ever walk this earth as part of this story. That is a different framing for it.
Yeah, well, I guess, so I had played junior tennis, so sort of knew the Richard Williams story a little bit, and it was really something that just stuck with me always, this image of Richard, I think, at like the 1999 Lipton Championships, holding up a sign in the stands that said, "Told you so." And I think around 2013, 2014, Trevor and I started to, talk about this as a potential idea for a movie, basically, through Richard. And I think we're both just incredibly inspired by the family's just sort of relentless pursuit of this dream. And we started to meet with writers, and for a couple of years we probably met with 20, 25, 30 writers, and I think what we found out was really that there's 1,000 different ways to tell this story. And I've got to say, it wasn't until we met Zach over here who really zeroed in on exactly what this was, wrote an amazing script for it, and it was really that script that started the process of this film actually becoming real. We sent that script to Will, we sent it to Isha, we started to kind of, really at that point begin to bring this to life.
And just to add to that, I think, when Tim first kind of brought me the idea of doing a film about Richard Williams, we kind of thought about it in terms of this might be the greatest coaching story in the history of sports. And what made it really exciting is when we started to kind of dive into their story, it was far beyond a coaching story. It was a story about a family and a story about love and how that keeps, the drive alive in a way. And it was very inspiring for us. And then to add on, once Zach came in, we really felt like there's the shape to a movie. We can now finally see what a movie could look like. And Zach did a really tremendous job with it.
Definitely. When you talk about family in this movie, Aunjanue, your character, I feel, even more so than Richard, no offense, Will, is where the family really takes flight in this and where the heart of it lies. And when I saw it, I will just say the moment when you take it to Richard in that dining room and say he did not do it alone, the entire audience broke out into applause. They needed that moment. And I just want to talk to you about the dynamic that you brought to this real woman, but also to the character, because it's not the way you normally see these quote unquote, parent biopics like this. It's the maybe one parent in the front and the other in the background. And that scene really, it's singular, and it was just incredible to watch.
Well, I want to say that I give a whole lot of credit to these filmmakers that, I'm lucky to be with, because, and we got a couple more on screen over there, they sort of insisted that Miss Oracene would not be in the shadows. Yeah. And as you said, we have these stories where you have the heroic male figure, but to do something where we did not see that Miss Oracene was a co-conspirator of this crazy dream would have been dishonest. And we worked on that and tried to give her the presence that she deserved to have, because that was the truth. Yeah.
So glad she had that presence. Again, it just totally changes the dynamic of the film. And Saniyya and Demi, the other dynamic that I just thought when I was watching it for the first time is these young, incredible, talented actors were given the task of, I have to do Venus and Serena. And just the idea of speaking to these ladies today made me shake a little bit. So I'm just curious what those conversations were for you, and how you brought authenticity of them as not just players, but sisters. And Demi, I'll start with you.
Yeah, to bring everything together and make it feel as real as possible, I think Saniyya and I just did a lot of research. It was really important to us that everything we did was real, because this is not our story, this is theirs. And so, research, the internet. We had Miss Isha there every step of the way, and
What were your first conversations? Did you get on a Zoom and say, I just want to say this? I'm just curious.
With
Your first conversations with your counterpart, like the first time you got to speak, like, 'cause again.
Yeah. The first time that I got to speak with Serena was when her and Venus surprised us on set. That was such a fun day. So much fun. You know, but when we spoke, they kind of spoke to us about everything but tennis, which was actually kind of funny. We spoke about their life and their childhood and about the people that they dated growing up. It was a very fun.
Well, we wanted to make sure we were portrayed in the right light. The script took a turn.
Facts.
Yeah, you know, it was just a cool conversation, and we just got to speak to them as people. You know, Serena and Venus, you guys are two women that I've looked up to my entire life, and so it was really fun to get to know that side of you.
And Saniyya, same question to you. How did you approach this task and talk about your first conversations with Venus?
I was quite nervous when I met Venus for the first time. I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm actually meeting you in person. And like Demi said, it was like we had such great conversations, and it was never just about tennis. It was just about them as people. And, you know, again, I've looked up to them too ever since I was little. And I think it was very important to make sure that I let people know just how big of a heart Venus has. And that was something so special to me, and makes me emotional every time because I had such an amazing, you know, experience on this, and getting to create this family, not just with, you know, my cast, but everyone behind the camera and Mr. Ray and everyone. They made us feel so comfortable, and I was excited to try tennis, and we were quite nervous, but yeah, it was great, and I had such an amazing time.
I think what was interesting too is one of the coaches was actually someone we went to the Rick Macy Academy with.
Wow.
So it was such a small world that ended up happening that way. So I think we even really connected in terms of like getting the girls ready for this role. Is like we were actually working with someone we already knew.
Wow, that's so incredible. John, I'm going to bring it to you. This is, you know, the story about a father of an athlete, and I learned that is not something that's foreign to you, but I'll just put it, I hope you don't put your kids' coaches through what Richard put Coach Matchy through. It's just, but it's interesting. I'm just curious, you know, there's a lot that he has to deal with, but he still has this incredible upbeat personality. And there's a balance in that so that he doesn't come off as cartoonish, where you still believe him to be this incredibly talented coach, but he has this heart behind it, and you brought that balance. And so I'm curious how you approach that.
Wow, look, first of all, it's just so wonderful to see all you guys. Me and Ray send so much love, and you know, we keep hearing the word family here, and that's just that's just the deal. I mean, this was all about family, and it was such an unbelievable honor to be a part of this family and this beautiful story. Look, for me, yeah, there's nothing in the world more important to me than my babies, and you know, I think it's you know, parenthood is it's the most important job. It's the hardest job. It's a job that you're never going to get perfect, and I think it's so important the people that we put in our kids' lives. And I think you know, for me, the thing that I connected with Rick and in talking to so many of the folks that had played for him, and talking to Serena about him, the thing I just heard was fun, that he loved the game and he made it fun. And I think that was sort of something I think that could, you know, with Richard, that he could kind of get behind, as weird and as quirky and with the mustache and the hair, he could still get behind this guy.
Yeah, and, everybody got behind him for sure. And Ray, you know, as everyone's been talking about this, everybody's been talking about family and, you know, the strength of family, and that was just such a key part of what you were able to bring to the screen in the story. And so I really just want to, you know, ask you about walking into this project, you know, knowing that not only was it going to be a family type production, but the family had to take center stage, where other people might be wanting to focus in on just the matches, and how you approach that in your direction. Because again, this is a family drama that just happens to have world-class athletes, which is why I think folks are loving it.
Yeah, well, look, I was on a tennis court one time before that, and I'm a baseball player, and like the ball like went over the fence, and I was like, well, don't think this sport is going to be for me in terms of playing it, and realize how difficult it is to actually do that. But in making the movie, obviously, you know, I wanted to make a movie that my mom could see, and she's never seen a tennis match before. But she understands what winning and losing is. She understands what family is. She understands what love is, and she understands what that kind of core is, and what it comes. You know, she understands what struggle is. And there were things that are relatable to folks like my mother, who, you know, could see this movie and enjoy it, and still understand what's happening and not get lost in sort of the technical aspects of the sport. So when we were building the tennis, that was something that we really honed in on. What aspects of the tennis do we need to tell the story? And whether that was, you know, talking about open stance, which is, you know, what Venus and Serena used to revolutionize the game of tennis. And let's be specific about that. Let's talk about how we can use that in the film to kind of shape those tennis sequences. You know, look, it's a testament to our cast. You guys are so beautiful, really, like all around. It was an incredible opportunity to work with these stellar performers and to build this family together. And we had that. Not every film does everybody love each other when you call cut. And like, you know, as we know, we were like roping each other in just to get it in. And it was a testament to how much fun we really created on set. And that, you know, look, with Will and Aunjanue being the backbone of the family, not only in the film, but on set, really truly creating an environment for everybody to excel was amazing. To have those, you know, co-captains on the field. And then, you know, like you mentioned before, Saniyya and Demi, I mean, it is incredible to take on the responsibility that they had to do what they did in this film is nothing short of remarkable. I'm just so grateful to, you know, the Williams family for allowing us to do that. Having Isha and Lindrea on set every day to be like, nope, they wouldn't hold the racket like that. Like, you know, the norm. Able to like, nope, I wouldn't wear that color. Like, those like you can't, you know, like there's so many pearls that came from that. And yeah, you know, look, we have a family beyond this film, and I'm just grateful for that opportunity. Hopefully you guys can feel that love on the screen.
That's excellent. I just, when I joined here today, it did feel like you were walking into a family reunion, the way you all greeted each other. It was so incredible. And it makes me think of just how much fun you guys probably had making this movie and why people are having such a great time watching it. Tony, I'll bring it to you because it wasn't all fun. I mean, everyone here that's playing somebody real, that's a daunting task. This is a person who is going to see your performance and dissect it through their own eyes and being like, you know, no. And Paul was not necessarily on set to give you the left and right. So you had to do a lot of preparation before you got on set. And how did you go about, you know, portraying this man? Because again, as a coach, I'm sure he was trying to give you pointers.
Yeah. It was really interesting. You know, in Zach's script, one of the things that really appealed to me so much was it seemed that the heart with which the character of Paul approached it, and even though we have a contentious relationship, there's this playfulness to it and a mutual respect. And so I reached out and found the real Paul Cohen and had long conversations with him and asked him about how he, you know, asked about, you know, his relationship with the Williams family and with Venus and Serena, but also how he approached coaching kids, because I just wasn't sure. You know, it's a pretty intense, high octane, very challenging thing. And he said what I wanted him to say, which was that, you know, it's this thing of it's about family and it's about giving it a heart and making it, you know, something joyful. And even though it's super intense, you know, he expressed tremendous love for the family and incredible admiration for Richard. And so it validated, you know, what I read in Zach's script that actually moved me a lot. And it was same thing everyone's saying, you know, it's whatever disagreements we may have, the respect for seeing how this man is fighting and advocating for his kids, and this woman too, in Oracene. You know, it's just, and then for me to be my first day on set, watching these guys as a family and all the sisters, everyone almost like it was like there was some kind of magnet that anytime the camera turned off, they just were like together in a big lump of playful joy. All the girls, it was
It was like, oh, okay, well, this is easy because this is a family, and Aunjanue and Will just totally a part of that. It was almost seamless between, when they were in front of the camera or when they were not. It was just all real.
I love that.
Shout out to Michaela Bartholomew and Danielle Lawson and Layla Crawford.
Yeah.
Our other part of our family.
Yeah. Not here, but here in spirit again. It just seems like every time we say the family word, you can't help but picture them. I'm picturing the Cinderella scene. And Richard's parenting style. Will, I'll bring it to you. But this is not the first time you played a father on screen, but it has to feel a little different. But as an actor, as a father, sort of taking on to this, you can't help but maybe compare it to your own experiences in fatherhoods, similarities and differences. What did you do when you sort of made that calculus, looking at Richard's parenting style and sort of comparing it to your journey through fatherhood?
One of the first things that was interesting in our first meeting, we sat down, and Venus said, it's almost like they brainwashed us. It was like, because you said our punishment was that we couldn't play tennis, right? Because they never had to push. It was like that there was a Jedi mind trick that it was like, it wasn't the standard thing that you see of a parent pushing and driving a child. There was that, but it was augmenting and throwing fuel on a fire that they had. It was a fire coming from inside of Venus and Serena. And for me as an actor, when I take a role also, I'm taking it to explore something. I'm taking it to learn something. And that was a new parenting idea for me of aligning with your children versus directing your children. And it was a very, very different concept and approach that was magical in the Williams family. That the rules were set, but the rules that were established were divine rules, right? So faith was at the center. And then it was a collective journey we were going on. It wasn't that as a parent, I know and you don't, so you're gonna do what I say because I'm right and you're little, right? And it was a very different approach that was, somewhat eye-opening for me. My father was military, so it was very different. When I was growing up, the kids you don't get a vote, right? So you do what's laid out for you, do what's established for you, and there, some benefits to that mindset also. But this was a very different thing.
Yeah, I grew up in a military household too. It was yes ma'am, no ma'am, and the idea of agency, I don't think I got until my 20s.
Right.
Probably not even still.
Keep it real.
It's true. Zach, I think the most daunting aspect of doing any biopic is chronicling the big moments. Everybody wants to see probably Venus's debut at Wimbledon. Everybody wants to see the moments when they finally start winning at juniors. But in this one, there was also a balance to keep it about the family and keep the story about their journey and not get lost in those big moments. And I'm just curious, when you were crafting the screenplay, how did you go about that? Because it never loses that thread throughout.
Oh, good. Well, I think that was like the big effort, was that it was going to be a gripping family story, that it wasn't just going to be like a Sports Center package about these moments that we all know and become really like calcified, that it was going to be like, if we were really going to get to know the family, that we needed the intimate moments. And so I think we collectively found what the architecture was of where the movie was going, but then it really became about just digging in and doing the research and finding the little things that were going to make it not just be about a family that did this, but that this family that did this. And so, a lot of it, I wrote the first draft of the script and I thought it was pretty good, but then once we started sitting down with Isha and Venus and Oracene and getting everyone's, really like, what was it like in that bedroom? What was it like at the dinner table and in the van with Richard? And I think that's what really, like, hopefully really brought it to life. And so it wasn't just like a chronicling of the greatest hits of like this incredible family, but it was, hopefully like an inside look at what it was like at every moment. And
I mean, it really was. And what the screenplay was not, Isha, I am sure you saw in very many previous iterations and attempts. And being, I think, a lot of folks' first contact when they're like, oh, I think I can do this. I know that your journey through to finding this story and knowing this one would be with the right group of filmmakers was an interesting one. And so I would be so interested to hear about that. And not so much about those bad screenplays, though.
Really no bad screenplay. It was definitely a journey. It was persistence of definitely Tim and Trevor and wanting to tell the story of my dad and not have it be one of vilification, but one of just getting people to understand, who he was as a father and like what he wanted to do and how the family came together to be able to do that. And when it was understood that that was what we wanted to happen, it became a lot easier to get behind it. And so then was the process of actually going to my family, after reading the script. I was like, there's this opportunity, there's a script, it's a little raw. There's some things that we can definitely finesse and get right. But this person is behind it, and we have a lot of respect for Will. And he wants to get it right, won't do it unless, we're really bought into the idea of what this could be and doing it right and being authentically ourselves. And that took some time, because that vilification aspect is still out there. And being able to trust that this group of people, this filmmaker and this production team and everyone would do this the right way. When oftentimes in sport, obviously you get one chance at it. You get one time to step up to the line and serve that ball for that point. So to want to make sure it was right and the story was told right and it was fair and it was honest. And it really displayed the integrity that we've always tried to have as a family. It took some time to get there. With my family, because there was a little bit of distrust, as you can imagine. Yeah. Being in the public eye for as long as they have. Venus, I think the first article was like when she was 10, 8 or 9, maybe 9 years old. Yeah. In the Compton Gazette. So like to be written about since that age, and not maybe have people understand what that family dynamic was like. Oftentimes, Lindra and I have people asking us, are you guys really close? Do they fight, off the court? So years and years of that, you build up a little bit of distrust. So we got there because I did trust that as long as there was going to be a footprint there every day, and I might have gotten on a couple people's nerves on set, but it was important for me because I had a responsibility to my family to make sure that the story was told right. And to have willing participants in that journey with this entire cast and the entire production team and everybody wanting to do it right is why I think the product ends up being what it is and the story ends up being what it is. It wasn't a singular thing. Everyone had a hand in wanting to get the story right and tell this real hero story of my dad and what he was able to do, but also understand the foundation that my mom actually was able to lay and make sure that the heart of the family was there. And that part is the part that we wanted to make sure was right. And I think, and I hope, Aunjanue, there are no words for how she got it, how she really got the voice of my mom and made sure her presence was known and felt. So it was a journey, and it wasn't always, an easy, direct one.
Yeah.
But I think that sometimes the best things come from a lot of people working really hard and digging in to get it right.
Well,
there was only one day on set where Isha just had to put her foot down. You remember this?
Oh my gosh.
So you remember the day where you guys were coming out and it was your motive.
Oh.
So there was a thing. There was.
He was like, you're still doing it wrong.
It's like your motive, you're corroded, your booty got exploded. You was like,
Oh my
no, that's.
She came up, she was like, all right, hold up.
Because she had to tell you.
She's like, your booty can't got exploded. Right. And we were like,
got
all right.
exploded. Your motive corroded. Your booty exploded. It just exploded. Your booty can't got exploded. Please, come on.
Details. That is what wins Oscars. So I appreciate you, sis, when we take home all these trophies. Yeah. No.
Isha's very serious about how booties get exploded. So I think y'all should just take the got out.
Well, I appreciate that. Jokes aside, Venus and Serena, I'm sure you guys are grateful for that, those little details. That's what you're going to, I think, enjoy more so than the story. Like, the way that the table was set up, the way the beds were set up, that's the thing I think that's the personal attachment to it. But as this movie goes around the globe, you two have already inspired an entire generation of women, young black women especially. What is one thing you hope they see from this film? Because we all know media travels farther than any sport figure ever could. People remember the movie before they remember the book and so on. And so I'm just curious what you hope young girls watching this take from this story. And Venus, I'll start with you.
Yeah, anything is possible. And to always believe in yourself, never doubt. Doubt does nothing for you, but the same time you're doubting is the same time you can spend believing in you and putting the work in so that way you do believe and build confidence. And as a family, you can achieve anything. And that's what I really loved about this, is that it's a family film. And like Will said, or if you don't even understand tennis, you understand family. Mm-hmm. And that with a family, you can do anything. Some of us are born with that. Some of us have to create those families, but surrounding yourself with family can take you higher.
Yeah. Serena?
Yeah, Venus put it perfectly. You just you really do have to ultimately just believe in yourself, and anything is possible. And it's not too high if you set your goals at the sky. The sky is literally the limit, so don't be afraid to set high goals.
Yeah, I think that is the one lesson that anyone can take from this. It's such an inspirational film. It's what you feel, when you're not wiping away tears as the credits roll and listen to that fabulous song by Beyonce. But fabulous. I'm going to bring it to our two leads, Demi and Saniyya, for the last question. And really sort of ask you two what memories you'll have from this, because I'm, again, just so jealous at your age to have this experience. I mean, this is serious. It's the first time I've gotten to interview half of these folks, let alone experience the joy of making a film with them. I'm just curious what you, as, essentially the target audience for this film in so many ways, what you're going to take from it. And Demi, I'll start with you.
I think that, one of my most amazing memories is just being on set every day with our amazing cast. This is my first film of this magnitude, and so, everyone really helped me feel comfortable and loved and included, especially Mr. Will. And all the lessons that I've been taught just by watching all you amazing actors do your thing, I'm just so happy to be here.
Oh, damn. Geez, you're gonna get me crying up here, guys. I think what I'm gonna take away from this is just being able to step into Venus's shoes helped me grow as a young woman. They were so humble at such a young age, and they had such a great father. And I think, again, family is everything, and that taught me so much. It made me, go out there and reach out to people that I haven't talked to since I was little, But I think something that I will always take away from this is just to make sure you always respect whoever you're working with. Mr. Will made us feel so uncomfortable, but at the same time, you know, he created a relationship with everyone on set, and he also has such a big heart, and you know, he inspired me so much, and he was definitely like our dad. But yeah, I mean, I think when I left shooting the movie, I kind of just wanted to go back and do it all over again. Those are memories that you just, you know, wish you can just redo.
Yeah.
Live all over again, but at the same time, I really challenged myself, and I'm just proud of everybody, and I just can't wait for the world to see it. I cry every time.
Yes, they do need to see it. The world is, they're just not ready for it, for this family, and I would not get out of here without going to our King Richard and our Queen, too. Want to make sure we talk about this, but for both of you, you've had such stories, careers with so many chapters, and this is not your first time on a film set or the first time playing a family, but I have to assume that this one is special in so many ways, just based on what you guys said, and so, you know, same question, from your time on set, what was the one thing that you took from this film and hope others take from it? And Aunjanue, I'll start with you.
There were many times that I would look around while we were shooting and just think that at some point in my life I did something right, because I just felt that you know, like God was like, I'm gonna give this gift to you. I worked with these amazing young women who they educated me, and they make it look easy. They look like I'm just having a good time with Will Smith today, you know? But that's the deception of their genius, because everybody cannot be have such a lived experience like that on camera. There's a camera right there, and they were able to be present in every moment. When I, you know, working with Will, and all these burgeoning superstars should come and watch him on set, because he is a superstar, but he is lovely to everybody, would not allow for anyone to be mistreated in his presence. Reinaldo Marcus Green was our cheerleader. Every day he has the same had the same enthusiasm from day one to the day we finished clapping for us, you know. Now, there you go. I was waiting.
That quantum rig.
So, I mean, the everyday experience of the film was just a joy for me, and I'm so thankful for it. That's what I'm going to take.
Okay.
It was a gift.
My gift. I love that. And you, sir.
I just want to say one for Saniyya and Demi had to learn how to play tennis like two of the greatest tennis players of all time. So you know, when I had to try to learn how to play Muhammad Ali, I know how daunting that was. There are professional fighters who can't move and play like Muhammad Ali.
Yeah.
There are professional tennis players that can't, you know, play like Venus and Serena. And, you know, I was watching Saniyya, and I just want the world to know, not only did Saniyya learn how to play like Venus, Saniyya is left-handed. She learned how to play with her off hand.
Wow.
She learned how to play like one of the greatest tennis players of all time with her off hand. I was like, yeah, clap her in. You know, and you know, just you know, when I step on a set like that, I take it as it's my responsibility. It's my family. It's my crew. It's my people. It's my, you know, it's my place. And you know, it was just such a beautiful thing to watch. You know, with Aunjanue, the scene in the kitchen, we didn't really even find that till it was like the day before when we were starting to get that, and Aunjanue was so confident, and it was no, little sorry, little more, not quite, little more, just a little more, and it was really like day of when she was like, you know, that's it.
Wow.
That's it. And I just loved that push. I loved being able to serve that. I love being able to be a part of creating in that way and that push and that tenacity and for the authenticity. And everybody in this group, and to say to the three of you, everybody in this group is amazed and in awe of your family. And it was a beautiful honor and an absolute pleasure to bring this depiction to the world. So thank you for your suffering and thank you for your hard work and thank you for your inspiration to the world. We appreciate you.
I can't think of a better place to end it but there. I want to thank you all so much, not just for the incredible film, but for your time today. And I want to thank all of you for watching. And that is it for us. Goodbye.
Thank you. Tennis clap.
All right, guys.